Political machinery has been turning all year long. With the next general election just 2 years away, both major parties, the Progressive Liberal Party and the Free National Movement, remain locked in a relentless dogfight to convince the electorate which party is better suited to govern. But make no mistake about it, alternative parties like the Coalition of Independents, led by Lincoln Bain, are steadily making their case to the public, centering immigration and corruption as their biggest ticket items. In a nutshell, the political arena has been rife with drama, infighting within parties, and political punches being thrown from every corner and by every leader. The drama in politics reached a boiling point in early December when St. Barnabas Member of Parliament Shannon Dawn Cartwright hurled the ceremonial mace outside the lower chamber, causing chaos to erupt in what is supposedly an honorable house.
Remove the honorable member for St. Barnabas from these proceedings.
Opposition MPs claimed it was a justified revolt, stating they had had enough of House Speaker Patricia DeVoe suppressing their voices. But some governing MPs dismissed the incident as nothing but theatrics.
What is theatrics is this government?
As for opposition leader Michael Pintard, this wasn't his first clash with the House Speaker. It was just the latest incident in a growing tension between the Speaker and the opposition.
It cannot be right that the Speaker continues to do this, aided and abetted by members and guided by members of the government.
DeVoe, however, seemed to have had enough as well. She accused the opposition of unruly behavior and suspended them for 2 sittings, painting a bleak picture of what she described as a disorderly parliament.
The honorable members mentioned will not be allowed to sit in this honorable assembly.
It's no secret that the role and impartiality of the House Speaker, or the alleged lack thereof, have become a bone of contention between both sides of the political divide. One side levies that the House Speaker is abiding by the rules, while the other side has cried a different tune. That's why the opposition in particular has often lobbied for an independent speaker to quash concerns about partiality. Political observers say the lower chamber got a glimpse of that during the former FNM government, when former House Speaker Halson Moultrie seemingly employed his best efforts to keep both sides in check. But other political analysts say that was partly due to him severing ties with the FNM. If you speak with Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, though, he'll tell you how he felt about Moultrie's reign in the lower chamber.
The opposition leader who sat quietly by and witnessed the blatant abuses of Halson Moultrie, who I called at the time the worst speaker in the history of the modern Bahamas.
Does this suggest that this is payback time for the now governing PLP?
The majority will rule.
But the drama didn't stop there. It spilled over into the minority room, where the leaders of the FNM and the COI locked horns during an opposition press conference.
If you are credible enough, the public will give you a chance, but you are not credible enough.
You are not credible.
And while the major political parties battled one another, infighting within the FNM resembled what spectators saw last year with the PLP. This time, it was a clash between former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and his former Agriculture Minister turned FNM leader Michael Pintard. The feud came to a head during the party's June 1st convention, where Pintard delivered a crushing defeat to Minnis, solidifying his position as party leader.
To Dr. Hubert Minnis, that this organization has benefited from your leadership.
But while Pintard promised to give Minnis his flowers and extend an olive branch, Minnis had this to say.
I haven't seen that branch yet.
PLP rivals say that convention exposed a deeply divided FNM, a division that grew shortly after former Deputy Prime Minister Desmond Bannister called for a convention, having distanced himself from the party since Pintard took over. Some suggest Bannister went a step further and threw a jab at the FNM during an interview with Eyewitness News on the latest estimate for Eleuthero's Glass Window Bridge reconstruction that sparked concerns about fiscal irresponsibility.
These are issues that a responsible opposition ought to take up with the government.
And then the political battlefield turned brutal. Prime Minister Philip Davis delivered a scathing attack on Pintard, accusing him of exploiting a utility crisis in Eleuthera for political mileage ahead of the general election.
We're not concerned with political gimmicks, like those who seek to gain political points from your pain by giving out water bottles But they didn't see fit to take action to fix this problem when they were in power.
In turn, Pintard criticized the government's handling of the crime crisis and had a few choice words about their approach in January amid a grueling crime wave.
Hiring jokey people to become consultants in some of the most pivotal ministries.
And let's not forget the ongoing tit-for-tat between the governing party and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. The PLP accused the FNM, which has 3 Grand Bahama members of parliament, of being in bed with the GBPA.
I would have thought that he would be on our side. I think, stop being the water boy for the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Meanwhile, the Davis administration found itself in a war of words with the opposition FNM over a New York Supreme Court ruling on Bahamar, which revealed that its initial developer, Sarkis Ismailian, was ousted reportedly with the help of a previous PLP government.
Whenever the PLP is in office, we are a nation for sale.
But the PLP's chairman, Fred Mitchell, responded with a blistering rebuke.
The only entity I can think of that's for sale in the Bahamas is the FNM.
Even the Senate saw fiery exchanges. Attorney General Ryan Pinder defended his party against accusations of corruption by opposition Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis.
They were voted out for their corrupt behavior in 1992, in 2007, and 2017. And God willing, they'll be voted out again when the next election is called.
Here was the AG's response.
Just because she's trying to prove a point to her failed leader in that other place, to try to peddle some constituency, doesn't allow her to come in here and talk about the most established political party in the history of this country, the political party